Hey everyone, my name's Angela Fazio and you're watching Moms in Real Estate. Today's guest is Gina Bennett, and we'll hear today how she was able to overcome the obstacles of insecurity and hardships and how she's making this beautiful life for her and her two daughters through real estate. It's a compelling story, so I know you're going to love it, so let's get started.
Angela Fazio is an industry powerhouse who has overseen 40,000 homes sold and $9 billion in production. And Kristen Cantrell is one of the nation's most accomplished team leaders, helping thousands of agents build their businesses. They are passionate about educating, encouraging, and empowering moms in real estate. Our next episode starts now.
Hello, ladies. Hi, Kristen, my beautiful co-host, and welcome, Gina. We're so excited to talk to you today.
I'm excited as well.
Good. Well, let's just let everyone know a little bit about yourself. Give us a little background.
Okay. Well, I'm Gina Bennett. I work at Conway Real Estate. I have been full-time for 18 months in real estate. I've had my license for 6 years. I have two girls. One is 17 and one is 12.
Awesome. So we're so excited for you to share your life with the people who are watching, because it is such a great story of overcoming obstacles and insecurity. And let's just get started, because we all have that. If any woman out there says they're 100% confident, they are a dirty little liar.
I agree.
So tell us a little bit about your first daughter. Kristen, you're going to have to talk. I'm lagging again.
Oh, you are? Okay. Well, Gina, kind of maybe just take us down the road of your past, and then how you decided to get your license and why it went from 6 years, you took a while to actually go in full time. And I love the story around that. So kind of just walk us through all that.
Okay. So my past, I will start. I grew up in New Mexico. I moved to Arizona when I graduated high school by myself at 16. I didn't have the best mother and daughter relationship, so I left as soon as I could, and I moved here after I graduated. I went straight to a dental school, and I started working. I think I was getting ready to turn 18. So when I was 17, I already had started working in a dental office. I did have my first daughter. I was pregnant at 19. I had her at 20, and her father and I, we didn't really have a great relationship. We tried. We were going to get married. It wasn't. We were best friends and we were young, and that wasn't really on our path. So it was just my daughter and I. And a few years later, I had gotten engaged, and my fiance had lived in California. We were going to move there. I was going to take Kaylee with me, which is my daughter's name. And I was going to go to hygiene school there and live our life and move on. I tried to do that. Her father's family had served me with asking for joint custody. The state of Arizona is a father state. Mm-hmm. I still moved. I figured he hadn't raised her, known her for 5 years. There's no way I'm losing my daughter. We left. I spent a year in court battles. We were back every weekend, back and forth. And his parents actually were very well known in the real estate business back then. That was when the market was doing amazing. Both of his parents were realtors. And anyway, long story short, I was told that I was losing custody of her if I remained in the state of California. So we spent the summer there, and we moved back to Arizona. I got custody back of her. At that point, we already had gotten married, and then I was pregnant with my second daughter. My pregnancies are horrible. I probably wasn't even supposed to be able to have kids. So if I had waited any longer, I wouldn't be able to have had kids. So those are God's gifts, absolutely, for me. Stayed in dental career. About a couple of years later, my husband had an affair, and my mother died 1 month before that while we were in the middle of a fight. So my world sort of collapsed within 14 months, very badly. And he, during that time I wasn't working. He wanted me to stay at home with my youngest daughter. So I was still in the dental field, but I wasn't working at that time. I had moved out, started on my own. I didn't ask for $1. I was actually approved for a very low income residency. I didn't end up taking that. I had borrowed some money from a friend and got an apartment and just built myself back up in my career. I got a job as an office manager for a dentist phenomenal dentist, but over a 7-year span was very abusive to me, verbally, very, very abusive. And from my history with my mother, my husband, and a lot of different things, I had stayed because I never felt that I was good enough. His dentistry was amazing and he was great with patient care, but I didn't believe in myself. So I stayed and I thought that it was okay. I was still making great money and it was what I was supposed to be doing.
I think there's a lot of people that kind of stay in a job because like your situation, you're a single mom and what else are you going to do? And you kind of just accept that is your life.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. How did you ever pull yourself out of that?
Well, at that point, I had been now in dental for 12, 13 years, and real estate was something that I always wanted to try. I had seen it work for so many people. I love the human contact, the sales. I really pride myself on that, but I was always super scared of the math. Honestly, on the test, I was scared that I was never going to be able to pass.
The worst part.
I know. All I could hear in my head was, "You're not smart enough. You can't do it. Who's going to work with you when there's all these agents that are successful? Like, what are you compared to them?" So I never took the test. Finally, I was changing offices in dental and I had a gap. And I just did the crash course. I did the 3-week program, went to school every day. I passed it and I got my license. Then I was like, awesome, I got it. Well, you're still not smart enough to use it. You're still not better than anybody else. So you just keep that in your back pocket and pretend that you're a realtor. So I stayed in dental and I had paid, every year my dues, and I had renewed my license twice. And I was like, you haven't even touched the damn thing. Like, you gotta try. So I had hung it at Keller Williams during that time, and I did a few open houses, but I just didn't have like that hands-on. It was very corporate. I didn't have anybody holding my hand, just kind of teaching me the steps, the ropes, and giving me that confidence that I needed. After that, I decided to leave Keller Williams when I started to understand that there's different fees with different brokerages and different opportunities. I had looked for something smaller, and I used it the same way as I did in dental. I didn't like the corporate jobs. I liked the one-on-one dentist. It was just a small practice. So I went with Conway Real Estate in Gilbert, where I live, and I had been there again a year, and we were in Facebook groups, and before pandemic, everybody was doing things monthly and meetings and all this kind of stuff. And I would just look and still be like, oh, wow, I could be friends with them. Oh no, you're still not good enough. You can't go. I still talked myself out of it, even though I was a part of it, and they were very welcoming. And a year later, fast forward, there was a party bus that our broker had reserved to take us to a haunted house. And it was like, drink on the bus, go to the haunted house, get to know everybody, have fun. So I was like, okay, I love haunted houses. This is my sign. We're doing it. I'm not renewing my license again and not trying. So I go on the bus and a couple of drinks. Now I'm all, I love everyone, like her name was Adrienne Lynch. And I was telling her that I was scared, and and she was like, there's something wrong with this situation. You're going to meet me tomorrow. And the rest is history. I joined a team with her, and that was in November. And by March the next year, I was full-time, and I doubled my income in dental in 6 months. And now I've tripled everything just through a pandemic. So
that is such a great story. And the reason why I like that story is because I think there are so many people. I was very, 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 very insecure until I was like in my late 20s. And it's crippling. It's crippling. And I know there are so many people who say, I think I could make real estate something for myself.
Yeah.
Obviously, Kristen and I, and you are too, are passionate about this industry. And especially as women, I want to surround myself with really powerful, overcoming women, because when you overcome obstacles like that, God does a strength work in you. And that is something that can be applied to every situation for the rest of your life. So although I'm sorry you went through all of that, I really believe that God uses situations. I know he did in my life to use that as a strengthening for me so that I won't ever let myself get back there.
Oh yeah, I'm a firm believer in God. I also go to Bible college once a week so that I can get a degree in ministry, because I do want to write a book, and I wanted the biblical background to be able to talk. And it is my faith. I know that He put the right people in the right spots at the right time, my age of maturity, just starting to believe and accept myself. And I couldn't have done that 6 years in the beginning in real estate. I wasn't ready. I wasn't mature enough in my own being, and God really worked in every avenue. And it brings my voice is getting cracky, like just to tears to see His steps. I mean, He, just like even meeting this, like this is all, it's His timing. And I love it. I'm excited.
I love that. So I think that it's so good for people to hear, because it's a common thing I hear when people get into real estate. They're like, well, there's so many agents. Why would anyone choose me? And there's certain degrees of that. Obviously, you were feeling it on the extreme end, but I do think that you have to understand that it's okay that there's a lot of people, there's a lot of business to be had, and that you are worth it. And so I'm so glad you were able to see that. I'm so glad Adrienne, who was also on Moms in Real Estate, I'm so glad you got to meet her, and she was like everything for you to get you to dive into real estate.
Yeah, I think the best piece of advice that women should listen to, people in general, but our audience is women. So is you have got to go out of your way to make sure that you are surrounded by people who are like-minded, who are cheerleaders, who will be transparent with you, who will push you according to the way you want to be pushed. There is no substitute for those people surrounding you and strengthening you.
Absolutely. I agree.
It's so true.
So tell us, you had said something about when you were talking about advice that you give to women who maybe were in your situation or hesitant or feeling like they can't do it or they're not good enough. You had said something about, when you want something so much that you feel in your veins or something like that. What were you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very in tune with my being. I feel like I could feel the crave of it in my veins. Like I knew that this job was destined for me. I just had to break a few barriers to get there. And it's okay that it took me 6 years, because again, I'm ready and I give it my 100%. I'm a constant learner. But I think whatever it is that you're passionate about, if it's something that you keep, going back and forth in your mind, you have to go for it. I mean, the most uncomfortable things, on the other side are the most beautiful things. And every book you read, every biblical scripture, I mean, that's all it talks about is just, we're put up against these trials. And when I know that there's something large and crazy and scary going on in my life, I know that that's when I buckle down and my faith is strongest, because on the other side, I'm about to see things happen for me that I didn't even dream of. And that's how I feel with, even in real estate this year. So this would be my first full year. Then we get this pandemic, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm in sales and I have to sell homes and people are losing houses and jobs. Wait, how does this work? So I freaked out for a week, and I was like, okay, I can't be calling people. There's this world crisis right now. I can't ask, do you want to buy a house? I couldn't go door knocking. I couldn't go to networking anymore. I had to shift everything. And I got really scared a little bit. And then I had to regroup and remember that just 1 year ago, I did the exact same thing. I had to be considerate to people's needs and understand that instead of maybe selling and calling, asking, I needed to ask how they were and just be a friend, be an ear, be that mental stability. And so that worked well. That's my natural nature, is very compassionate. So I didn't have to fake that, and I think that's the difference too. One piece of advice that Adrienne told me in the beginning is don't compare yourself to other agents. Everybody has a different goal. If some people only want to sell 5 houses a year and they're happy and they're comfortable. Some people want to exceed 15, 20, 30 and keep climbing. Everybody's different. And if you're passionate about it, the people will believe you. And I think that this job it has to come natural, from your being. You don't just get into this business to make mone.
Well, people can definitely tell when you're not authentic. And
yes,
there's the word.
When I sit down with agents and they're like, we talk about what's motivating you in this business or what's important to you in your life, and all of that conversation. That's really important to me, because I like to know what drives people. And if they're like, I just want money, or this is just transactional. I was like, you are not for me. I want to work with people who have that. I don't have the same qualities. I'm not as compassionate as you are, but I am passionate about bringing value. I'm not compassionate, but I am passionate about bringing value to people. And I know that people can smell a fake a mile away. I can.
Absolutely.
So what else is your book going to be about?
Yeah.
It's going to be a testimony of my crazy life. Just, my childhood, where it put me mentally and emotionally, and then just all the steps that I've gone through, having my kids young, being divorced early and young, an affair, my mother dying, and my job transition, the boss that I worked for in dental that, he actually threatened my life. That was the day that I walked out the door. I mean, there's a lot to me, and I just feel that the message is, a long time ago when I was young, God always put on my heart that I'm going to save hearts. I'm going to, and I'm going to take care of people. And I feel like I've been put in all these different situations so that I can be a resource to people. And that's what I really want to do. And in real estate, I really love the connection between people. I've become friends with these clients, and I've been really blessed that just in this short time, I've been given so many referrals, and people are my friends now. And we go to dinner after our deals, and I go visit their houses, and they send me pictures of photos. And I'm so new that I can't imagine what that's going to look like in 5 or 10 years.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's so rewarding.
It is. It's my favorite part. So.
And for everyone wondering too, you've only been at it a year and a half. What did you do to get your clients in the beginning?
I just did dials. I mean, I joined the team right when I started, and I like calling people. So it was leads, and I just called every day, all day, and that's all I did. And I didn't have any other networks at that time. I did join Gilbert Leadership last year. Just graduated this June. And I put myself in different community. I started volunteering in places, and then I'm in that Bible college. So I active in my church, just a little bit everywhere. I sort of injected myself all over. I do coach my youngest daughter's soccer team at GYSA, which I just re-signed up again. So that will be this fall. Just try to put myself out there, be in front of people. That's natural for me. I love meeting people, and now everywhere I go, I try to bring up, conversation in Ubers. I just got a listing for an Uber driver the other day. I was like, awesome. I can help you.
That's so awesome. So do you, now that you're a year and a half in, are you still cold calling?
I am. I guess it's not cold calling. They've reached out to us on one of our ads or our website. They've clicked. So I'm just following up with the people. So I'm still doing that. I enjoy that, especially with the pandemic right now. Things are back to being different. We can't really get out there and be around so many people. So, and I actually do like dials, but I'm still doing it. Yeah.
So you had said that your 17-year-old daughter, that she's an entrepreneur as well. What does she do?
So she is very business oriented. Probably I got inspiration from her a few years ago. So she it's called the Good Bar. So they make she makes lipsticks, lip glosses, scrubs, and it's all natural material, natural boxed, and good for your skin, good for your lips, good for the environment. And right now she is in the process of creating, it's called the Gilbert Girl Gang, and it is going to be entrepreneurs all over the United States. And I think it's 4 or 5 girls, and I don't know too much about it, so I don't want to say it wrong. She'll probably hear me since she's in school in the kitchen. Yeah, but that is the Gilbert Girl Gang, and then she has the Good Bar, which is hers that she's been working on since I think since she was 15.
That is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
How do you buy product from her?
Okay.
So I've got to tell you, that's got to be so gratifying to see your daughter be an entrepreneur. You know what that would make me do? It would make me want to work harder.
I know.
Oh yeah.
Because I'd be like, wait a minute.
I know.
17 and I need to up my game, which is why I love to surround myself with people who are really going after it. so that I up my game. So that must be so cool that your daughter is the person that can inspire you too.
Oh yeah. Over summer, and she also is in college and high school. She got a grant a year ago. So she's doing her junior and senior year while she's in college. I mean, high school and taking college classes. So she's been busy doing everything she wants to be done, and she wants to go into business and own businesses. That's all she wants to do. So over summer, because we were out of school, in March with the virus, I was like, you can't just work on your business all day. And she's like, do you know that no other parent would tell their kid that they can't work on their business? And I was like, because in my mind, I'm like, you're just on your phone. I was like, I want you to get a job. I want you to just utilize some other time. And she was like, wow, I can make more money in 1 hour from my business than I could go for working for somebody else. And I was like, okay, well, you're still going to go work for somebody else for a couple of hours and learn the skills, because she hadn't really had a job yet. I'm like, you need to have that. And then you can look at it and realize you never want to do that for a living. That's okay.
That's right.
So she's working at a Montessori school and just part-time in the afternoons. But she's like, I'm done now. I'm done working for people. I'm not doing this. So it's neat. It's neat to watch her. She's so young and she already believes in her business and herself. I mean, I'm still working on it. I'm 36. I love that. She inspires me daily to see that drive.
Well, thanks to God and thanks to what he put you through that you could raise strong daughters. That is a gift. That's awesome. So I know that just hearing your story and seeing how, I don't know, I'm proud of you. I just think it's a spectacular story and it inspires me. So I'm so grateful that you shared that with us. And I know that people are going to be blessed when they hear.
Good. I'm glad. I hope I help other women.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you are watching this, I don't care when you're watching this or listening to this, if you do not have people around you that are building you up, that are helping you, that are encouraging you, if you don't have really great cheerleaders around you, you need to call Kristen, me, Gina. We need to get around you. You need to get around us and we will lift you up. So any last words from anybody?
No, I appreciate the both of you. And I hope that this touches someone that needs it today.
Yes, I do too. I know that God never puts his word out there. It doesn't come back void. And we have done that. So God bless all of you. Have a wonderful week. Thank you, beautiful Kristen and Gina. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.